How do you make change as a college kid? As an
Absolutely.
18-year-old, 20-year-old, how do you make a difference?
You know, it's a lot simpler than a lot of college kids would think. I think especially on such an ambitious campus as USC, kids might get the idea that they need to, you know, do a lot or go incredibly far to make a real change. But really, it begins with something as simple as voting. You know, historically, millennial turnout has been incredibly low. And even before it was the millennial generation, you know, Generation Z in their time, incredibly low turnout, Generation X, Generation Y. The problem is that this age group a lot of times doesn't necessarily feel that their issues and that their needs are necessarily important or at the forefront of politics. And then they're alienated by that, so they don't turn out.
So, I mean, Mary Lou, you can speak to this too as someone who registers a lot of voters. Why is it so important for people to vote?
Well, I think it's essentially for the very thing that you're speaking about. I think it's easy to say, well, the issues at hand don't relate to me. But if you really think about it, you are the future. I mean, your vote probably has a bigger influence on what will happen during your adult lifetime than the current adults at the moment. And you'd be surprised. Through the league, I can tell you that when we break down the issues, we realize that at the end of the day, voters realize there's a stake that's at hand for them. You know.
I mean, one issue that pops to mind is Social Security. A lot of people our age not thinking about that, but votes and decisions on that are going to impact us way down the line. How do you inform your club members about that? How do you inform campus about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that brings up a really good point that actually President Obama made really recently when he was speaking on behalf of Hillary and campaigning for her, which is that when you see a ballot, you know, for instance, the presidential ballot, you're going to see, you know, 2, 3, 4 names. But what you're really looking at is the issues that that ballot represents. You know, if you want to take women, for example, reproductive rights are on the ballot. The rights for, you know, women of color, women in the LGBTQ movement to have their rights is on the ballot. So when you're thinking about the way that people vote, we try to not make it so literal in terms of you're voting for this person, and feeding into the personality politics we see a lot in the media today. We try to make it issue focused and information focused, so that when, you know, a student goes out to the polls and they want to vote for Donald Trump or they want to vote for Hillary Clinton, they're voting for the issues and the take on those issues that candidate represents that most align with that student's, you know, cultural values and feeling about where they want this country to be going and what they want the government to really be doing about those issues.